Welcome back, and again, thank you for all the viewers' support. I want to welcome you to Echoes of Light podcast. I am Heather McCullough, aka Bad Grandma, and author of Beneath Her Silence, available on Amazon. Today I would like to continue sharing some of my story out of my book, and we're going to start with back when I was younger, but I'm going to go into, I actually moved, and this is crazy, who does this, 128 times in my life. If you read my book, you'll know why. I either had to run away from my abuser, hide, I had different relationships that I was in that I had to run away from as an abused spouse, and as well just moving due to circumstances. 128 times. Who does that? I did. It's in my book. During that time, when I talk about moving around a lot, we did with my stepfather, because he had a lot of failed businesses. He owed money to people. That's part of what my poor mother was going through, is the stress in dealing with bill collectors and the good old government coming for their taxes. So in saying that, like I said, we had to move a lot. In that time, we picked up a puppy that I got to call Pup, which was my best friend. Thank God, she was the best, most supportive dog I ever had in my life. She got me through a lot. We ended up moving back to what we called our little hometown, where some of our family lived. Northern Saskatchewan in Canada. Beautiful in the summer, beautiful in the winter, but unfortunately my father would take that away by taking me out to the woods or in his shop where he did his various business dealings and abuse me. So that beauty was taken. But back to our northern little town, again, throughout my schooling, throughout all my friends that I stayed at, throughout family that I stayed with, I was sure that people knew what was going on. It showed on me. My mother couldn't help me look after myself even as I got older. I thought for sure the teachers would see different behaviors in me, but nothing got said again. So the reason why I keep revisiting this is it's so important for children or youths or young adults to tell somebody. Hardest thing you can do. You feel like you're just going to wreck everybody's life. But the problem is with my abuser is he would cultivate relationships with like police, RCMP, go hunting with them. It was a big thing back then. He would get his name in the paper for shooting a deer with an arrow. He would cultivate relationships with politicians. Once he started building his airplanes and doing air shows, he got more popular. And this is the thing, these people try and hide in their community as a bigwig. So what I'm trying to say is, you need to know who your children are around. 9 times out of 10, the abuser is very close to home, but it's also very close to your children in maybe they're coaches, they're doctors, professionals. These people aren't somebody who just lives with their mother in a basement. These people are everywhere. And that's why we have to come together and learn about what is going on in our communities, what's really happening out there, and how to protect our children, our youths, and our young adults. As well as, I can't say enough about Bailey's Law that just came into effect in July. Hats off, my heart's out to the family, and that's a group you don't want to belong to, is losing a child, and especially to something like that. Again, we need to come together as a community. We need to go to our legislation. We have to start making better amendments to our laws. We have to try harder And I think Bailey's Law was a really good example of that. It only took 1 year, and kudos and huge clap for them. That was a huge endeavor and a huge loss. So again, I'm going to go back to talking about these abusers can be anywhere. They can be a social worker. They can be, like I said, a professional anywhere, and they hide. And they use that to continue what they're doing to those children, young adults, youths. So in the end, I'm going to wrap this up with, as hard as it is to say, we don't want to hear this. We don't want to hear that something happened down the street with a family that we know, but we have to. We have to pay attention to this. There is information out there, again, your national support for youth and general guidance, the BC ministry, they also have a lot of literature and information that you can read on how to sit down and talk to your children, how to get this information to them in a comfortable way, in an environment where you're able to bring it up and it's easier and easier to talk about, so your children are aware. So you're aware. Do you know where your kids are, really? And do you know who they're with, really? This is important. That's all I have for now. Again, if you want to come on my podcast, get a hold of me for an interview at heather.echoesoflight@gmail.com. Please share, like, comment, and subscribe. 5 hugs a day. Play nice with others, really.